Have you ever wondered how the United States, a global power, came into existence? Our journey begins in 1492 when an Italian explorer named Christopher Columbus, financed by the Spanish monarchy, set sail across the Atlantic and stumbled upon a landmass unknown to the Europeans. This was the first recorded discovery of the American continent, though it was already rich with diverse cultures and civilizations. The discovery sparked a race among European powers for colonization. Spain, France, England, and Portugal, all eager to expand their empires and tap into the potential wealth of these new lands, initiated exploratory expeditions. As the 16th century rolled on, the Americas became a battleground for European dominance, with territories constantly changing hands and allegiances. The turning point arrived in 1607 with the establishment of Jamestown, Virginia, by the English. This was not the first English settlement in the Americas, but it was the first to survive and thrive. Nestled on the banks of the James River, Jamestown was named in honor of King James I. The settlers faced immense challenges, from harsh winters and food shortages to conflicts with the native tribes. Yet, they persevered, and Jamestown marked the beginning of the English colonial presence in America. The English colonies expanded in number and size over the next century, each developing its unique character and economy. From the bustling ports of Massachusetts to the tobacco plantations of Virginia, these colonies laid the groundwork for the diverse and vibrant nation that the United States would become. But it was not just the economic potential of these colonies that was significant. These early settlements also became the cradle of democratic ideas and institutions, which would later play a pivotal role in shaping the United States political landscape. Thus began the story of a land that would one day become the United States. What sparked the desire for independence in the colonies? Here's a tale that's as old as the United States itself, a story of resilience and the quest for freedom. Our journey takes us back to the 18th century, when the American colonies were under the British Crown. The seeds of discontent were sown by a policy that the colonists famously referred to as taxation without representation. The British authorities imposed taxes on the colonies, yet the colonists had no say in these matters, no voice in the British Parliament. This sense of injustice sparked a flame that would soon ignite a revolution. But it wasn't just about taxes. There were other factors at play too. The British government was tightening its grip on the colonies, imposing restrictions on trade, and enacting laws that seemed designed to keep the colonists under control. The colonists, however, had a taste of freedom, and they weren't about to give it up. They wanted to govern themselves, to make their own laws, to chart their own course. The tension came to a head with the Boston Tea Party in 1773. A group of colonists boarded British ships and dumped hundreds of chests of tea into Boston Harbor, a defiant act against the Tea Act imposed by Britain. This event was a turning point, a clear signal that the colonists were ready to stand up against the British rule. In the midst of these turbulent times, key figures emerged, leaders who would guide the colonies on their road to independence. George Washington, a military leader with a commanding presence, and Thomas Jefferson, a brilliant writer and thinker, were among those who led the charge. They rallied the colonists, inspired them with their vision of a free and independent nation, and gave them the courage to fight for their rights. And so the stage was set for the American Revolution. The colonists fought bravely against the British forces, and after years of struggle, their dream of independence was finally realized. With the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776, the United States was born. This marked the dawn of a new era, a new nation rooted in freedom and democracy, a nation that would grow to become one of the most influential powers in the world. How did the United States grow from 13 colonies to a coast-to-coast nation? Well, let's dive in. In the early 19th century, the United States was a budding nation, eager to expand its borders. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803 marked a pivotal moment in this expansionist journey. For a mere $15 million, the United States nearly doubled its size, acquiring vast territories west of the Mississippi River from France. But the thirst for expansion didn't stop there. The concept of manifest destiny began to take hold, a belief that the United States was destined to stretch from the Atlantic to the Pacific, shaping the nation's identity and policy. This ideology paved the way for further acquisitions like Oregon, Texas, and parts of Mexico. Then, in 1848, the California Gold Rush happened. The promise of gold lured hundreds of thousands of people to the West, accelerating the expansion and development of new states. However, as the United States grew, so too did the tensions between the North and South. These differences were rooted in contrasting economies and ideologies. The North, industrial and progressive, clashed with the South, agrarian and reliant on slave labor. These brewing tensions eventually erupted into the Civil War in 1861, a brutal and bloody conflict that tore the nation apart. For 4 long years, the North and South battled. It was a war that tested the very fabric of the United States. Yet, despite the devastation, the war ended in 1865 with the North's victory, leading to the abolition of slavery. The United States emerged from the Civil War as a united and stronger nation. This war was not just a battle between two regions, it was a crucible that shaped the nation's destiny. From the ashes of the conflict, a new United States was born, one that had weathered its greatest internal storm and emerged not unscathed but undeniably stronger. How did the United States become a global industrial power? This question takes us to a period of profound transformation known as the Industrial Revolution. This era, spanning the late 18th to early 20th century, is characterized by rapid industrial growth and sweeping societal changes. The Industrial Revolution was a time of invention and innovation. Steam-powered machines, telegraph lines, railroads. These technological advancements propelled the United States into a new age of production, communication, and transportation. The factories began to rise, industries boomed, and cities expanded, creating a bustling urban landscape that contrasted starkly with the rural agrarian society of yesteryears. This industrial boom not only transformed the landscape, but also the population. The promise of jobs and better living conditions attracted a surge of immigrants, primarily from Europe. This influx of diverse cultures, traditions, and ideas brought new perspectives and dynamism, further fueling the nation's growth. But it wasn't all about industrial growth. The United States was also making its mark on the global stage. The dawn of the 20th century saw the country embroiled in 2 world wars. The nation's industrial prowess proved crucial during these times of conflict. Factories were retooled for war production, producing everything from ammunition to aircraft. The United States, once a nation on the sidelines of global affairs, was now a key player. World War I and II tested the United States, but the nation emerged stronger and more influential. The wars highlighted the strength of American industry, the resilience of its people, and the country's strategic importance. The United States was no longer just an industrial power, it was a global superpower. The journey from a fledgling nation to an industrial behemoth and a global superpower is a story of transformation, resilience, and innovation. It's a testament to the enduring spirit of a country that constantly strives to reinvent itself, to adapt, and to grow. The United States emerged from the world wars as a global superpower. This is not just a statement of fact, but a testament to the nation's indomitable spirit and its ability to rise to the challenges of its time. How did the United States navigate the complexities of the Cold War and the fight for civil rights? In the mid-20th century, the United States found itself in a dual struggle. On the international front, it was engaged in a Cold War, a contest of ideologies and power with the Soviet Union. This conflict, devoid of direct military confrontation, was nonetheless punctuated by moments of high tension. Take the Cuban Missile Crisis, for example. This 13-day standoff in October 1962 brought the world to the brink of nuclear war. The discovery of Soviet missiles in Cuba, a mere 90 miles from the American mainland, led to a tense diplomatic negotiation. The crisis ended with the Soviets agreeing to dismantle their weapons in Cuba in return for a U.S. pledge not to invade the island nation. Parallel to these global tensions, the United States was grappling with significant domestic issues. The civil rights movement was gaining momentum, fighting against racial segregation and discrimination. This was a period marked by protests, sit-ins, and powerful speeches that echoed across the nation, demanding equality and justice for all. One name stands out in the civil rights movement: Martin Luther King Jr. His eloquent speeches and peaceful protests became the cornerstone of the movement. Who can forget his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech delivered during the 1963 March on Washington? His words, "I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character," still resonate today. Meanwhile, the space race, an offshoot of the Cold War, was in full swing. Both superpowers were vying for dominance in space exploration. The United States' triumphant Apollo moon landing in July 1969 marked a significant victory in this race and a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. These events, each significant in its own right, intertwined to shape the United States. The country emerged from the crucible of the Cold War and the Civil Rights Movement stronger and more diverse. These events shaped the United States into a diverse and dynamic nation. What challenges and triumphs has the United States experienced in the 21st century? As we venture into the dawn of the 21st century, the United States faced a seismic shift. The tranquility of the new millennium was shattered on September 11, 2001. The terrorist attacks, known universally as 9/11, devastated the nation and the world. This tragic event led to the War on Terror, a global military, political, and ideological struggle against terrorism. The United States, leading the charge, embarked on campaigns in Afghanistan and Iraq, leaving a profound impact on international relations and national security policies. However, the challenges weren't solely on the international stage. In 2008, the United States grappled with a financial crisis. The housing bubble burst and Wall Street giants crumbled, leading to an economic downturn felt around the world. This crisis tested the resilience of the American economy, leading to significant changes in financial regulations. Despite these challenges, the 21st century also marked significant triumphs for the United States. In 2008, amidst the financial crisis, history was made with the election of the first African-American president, Barack Obama. His presidency, spanning 2 terms, symbolized a new era of hope and change, breaking barriers and inspiring millions. His leadership brought significant reforms in healthcare, environmental policy, and social equality. The 21st century, though still young, has been a defining era for the United States. It's been a time of trials and tribulations, but also of progress and triumphs. These key events have not only shaped the nation, but have also had profound effects on the global stage. Through every challenge, the United States has shown resilience, and through every triumph, it has demonstrated its capacity for change and progress. As we continue to navigate this century, we can expect the United States to remain at the forefront, facing challenges head-on, achieving new triumphs, and in doing so, continuing to shape the world. The United States continues to evolve and adapt, shaping the world in the process. What defines the United States today? In the grand scheme of things, the United States is a relative newcomer on the world stage, yet its influence is far-reaching. This nation has etched its mark as a global powerhouse, wielding significant political, economic, and cultural influence. In the realm of politics, the United States is a major player. It's a nation that has the power to tip the scales of global decisions. The country's democratic system, with its checks and balances, is a model that many nations aspire to emulate. However, the political landscape is not without its challenges. The nation grapples with issues such as climate change, healthcare reform, and immigration policies, issues that not only impact Americans but also ripple far beyond its borders. Economically, the United States is a titan. It's home to some of the world's largest corporations, from tech giants in Silicon Valley to financial institutions on Wall Street. The economic decisions made here reverberate around the globe. Yet the United States also faces economic challenges. Income inequality, the future of work in the face of advancing technology, and economic recovery from global crises are some of the hurdles on the horizon. Culture is another facet where the United States leaves an indelible mark. From Hollywood blockbusters and Broadway shows to jazz, blues, and rock and roll, American culture is consumed and celebrated worldwide. But it's not just about exporting culture. The United States is a tapestry of diversity woven from the threads of many nations. This melting pot of cultures, traditions, and languages is what makes America unique. In the face of these current realities and future challenges, the United States is a nation of resilience and innovation. It's a country that constantly evolves, driven by the belief in the possibility of progress and the pursuit of the American dream. From its humble beginnings to its current status as a global power, the United States has a rich and fascinating history. So what have we learned about the United States? We've traced the origins of this nation from its birth and the hard-fought journey to independence. We've witnessed the expansion westward and the turmoil of the Civil War, a pivotal point in the country's history. We've delved into the era of industrialization and the World Wars, a time that saw the United States emerge as a global power. We've understood the implications of the Cold War and the Civil Rights Movement, transformative periods that shaped the nation's identity. We've stepped into the 21st century, assessing the challenges and triumphs of the United States today. This journey has shown us how the nation has evolved and grown over centuries, shaped by a myriad of forces and historical events. The journey of the United States is a testament to the power of determination, diversity, and democracy. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating insights into our world.